Hey everyone, welcome to Pilates again. It is a 45-minute class, so let's get started pretty soon, okay? My name is Felicia, and I hope you have been quite consistent with joining me every Sunday. And if you have, well done. It is a really hot Sunday, so as we move along, if you're not in an air-conditioned room, just be sure that you have something that you can actually, you can hydrate yourself with, all right? So let's get started with feet just hip-width apart underneath the pelvic bones, which is the protruding bones of your hips. Hands gently rested by the side. Then just maybe, in the first few moments, just close your eyes. There's a chance that if your eyes are closed, you have a better, I would say, inward sensation of how your feet is connected to the mat. Because sometimes we tend to lean on the stronger leg. Just breathing in through the nose. The exhale is out through the mouth. Every inhale to grow the spine a little taller. Every exhale to melt the shoulders away from the ears. As you breathe in next, both arms reaches all the way up. Now I'd like you to interlace all 10 fingers. Push your palms up towards the sky. Just lengthen here, starting to notice that I'm trying to keep my bicep beside the ears. Alright? That's it. Now a little bit of a side stretch to the right and left. So gently just move your way right, left, right, left. Make sure that you're going quite slowly for now, especially since it's quite early in the workout itself. So I don't want you to make any jarring movements. It should be quite smooth, quite slow. So you can slowly create a little bit more heat in the body. Just limber the spine up. That's it. One more. One to the right, one to the left, alright? So straighten your arms as much as you can. Now this time reaching up towards the ceiling, then take your hands behind your head. So from back profile, it looks something like this, okay? So I want you to pull your elbows back, just lifting your chin very slightly. Don't overdo the lift of the chin. If you have a tendency of bending through your lower back, I'd like you to keep the lower spine just nice and stable. We are doing a slight opening of the chest. So even if you're back bending through your upper spine, that part that's in between the shoulder blade, definitely not your lower back, not for now, right? So you want to pull the elbows just maybe 1 inch backwards. Just lift the chin slightly, almost like you're just leaning back on a hammock, maybe. Find that expansion through your heart. I should be able to see your neck as well. You shouldn't allow your arms to push your head forward and down, okay? Now the next time you inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, stand up tall again. Then as you exhale, cactus your arms, elbows beside the shoulders. Now from here, I'd like you to pull your elbows back, then interlace them behind your lower back. So here I am, interlacing all 10 fingers. The heel of my palms touches, but you don't have to. If this is where you are and you cannot touch the heel of your palms, don't force it, alright? Push your knuckles down, then maybe lift a little higher, that's all, okay? So starting to just expand through your heart space again. Just breathe, nice and easy. That's it. One more breath here. Then as you exhale, slowly release. Shake your hands out. Nicely done. Okay, Pilates roll down. I'll turn side on. You don't have to, okay? So side on looks like this. Take an inhale through the nose. Then as I exhale, I'm going to scoop my belly in, chin towards my chest. Soften the knees. Remember the crown of the head points down towards the earth as you slowly bow forward. Then slowly rise up bone by bone. Just very gently. One bone at a time. 2 more times here. Take an inhale, exhale. So just remember, as I'm coming down, I'm still breathing, okay? I'm not holding my breath. So the reason why I cue for the first breath is that when I exhale, it gives me a greater sense of being able to kind of scoop my belly in and to round my spine. One more time here. Inhale, exhale. Just think about just drawing everything in towards the midline and even deeper in towards the body as you bow forward. Are you still breathing? Crown of the head pointing down, so you're not looking at the mat, you're actually looking at your kneecap or your thighs as you bow forward. Great work. Facing me if you haven't done so. Shoulder roll back. Nice. Shoulder roll forward. That's it. Okay, we're going to take a right arm out, okay? And then we're going to do a shoulder roll. Other hand presses down towards the earth or the mat. So from side profile, all I'm doing is to create a little bit more rotation through the arm itself, the shoulder socket, your shoulder girdle actually. Then change direction. That's it. So we're doing one side first. This is your right arm moving. I'm your mirror image, by the way, whenever I face you. But if I'm facing towards the top of the mat or the bottom of the mat, I'll be in the same arm and leg as you. Okay? One more round. That's it. This time, press your right palm down. Take your left arm up. Just shoulder roll. So the reason why the other arm is pressing down is because I want you to purposefully lower the shoulder away from your ear. Okay? So we're just concentrating on one side. That's it. Change direction. Nice and easy. That's it. So just slowly warming the body up. But at the same time, you want to actually get as much as you can in terms of just protecting your body when we're moving into a little bit more advanced movements today. Alright? Now hands down, shoulder roll back, shoulder roll forward. That's it. Now this time we're going to start to warm the legs up. So feet wider than the hips, knees pointing out towards the side, towards the middle toe. Okay? If you look at the arc of my feet, you can probably see like a small little cave right at the inside of my feet. So I'm pressing more to the outside of my feet. I'm going to slowly lower down, bending the knees, then rising up. Now keep going where you are. I'm going to show you from side profile, but please, you don't have to turn side on. Alright? It just makes it easier for me to give you cues. So instead, some of you might actually be doing this. I'm going to do the wrong option, okay? Some of you might be actually doing this. So all you're doing is to bow forward through the hips. So instead of doing that, I want you to soften your knees. Imagine your spine is sliding down an imaginary wall. Then you're just pushing through your feet to rise up again. Okay? Keep going like this. That's it. Now hug the belly in. Tuck the tail under. Alright? Nice and easy. Breathe well. Great work. You got 5 more here. So notice that as I rise up, I'm not actually straightening my legs completely. I keep it still bent, slightly bent. Then I bend them even more as I sink low. Okay? Keep going through. You got 3 more here. That's it. So usually when we come into squats, if there's any sharp pains in your knees, I would rather you actually stop whatever you're doing and just lean against the wall into a very gentle squat. Next one, you're going to sink it down, stay and hold. So if your knees are hurting, again, once more, I do recommend that you actually lean your back against a solid wall. Then you just bend your knees only to any degree that you can without having to feel any pain, sharp pains in your kneecap, alright? So dull, achy sensations, I would say keep going. But if there's like kind of a sharp pain right through your joints, then please stop whatever you're doing, because it's hard for me to actually give the same cue for everyone. So you should start to know your body. Breathing in through your nose. The exhale is out through your mouth. Shoulders melting away from ears. Nice. If you'd like to sink a little bit deeper, this is optional. This is by no means compulsory. Just leaning the shoulders back. Belly in, remember. Tuck the tail under. Imaginary wall behind you still. Okay, so you can't stick your bum all the way back. Breathe. One more breath in here. Slowly rise up. Okay, heel toe your way in, or just step it in. Now feet together, knees together, thighs together as much as you can. Then sink down into a low squat. Rise up again. Now side profile, it's quite likely that most of us will have our knees either above the toes or slightly beyond. But it shouldn't be so much beyond that you're lifting your heels up. Not just yet, okay? It's not wrong, I wouldn't say it's wrong, but same concept applies. If you can, just pushing through your heels a little bit more than the ball of your feet so you can actually wiggle your toes. Okay? Then squeeze the thighs together just to get a little bit more out of this narrow leg or closed leg squat. Belly hugging in, tuck your tail under, same concept. So lower back has a little bit more space instead of arcing the spine too much. Breathing well. So I typically like to exhale on my way down. Nicely done. But there's nothing wrong, alright, to exhale on the way up, because that's what I used to do. Breathing. Nice. 2 more here. Sinking a little bit deeper. Great. Last one. Sink low. Stay here. Hold it there. Breathe well. Nice. Now hugging the thighs in, belly, ribs coming in towards the midline. Tuck your tail under, shoulders melting away from your ears. Just keep a smile on your face. And if you can lower yourself like 1 or 2 inch lower, please go ahead, do so. Okay? That's it. Take another 2 breaths. Again, you can always lean against the wall. So that could always be your option. Slowly rise up. Great work. Now standing, feet hip width apart. I'm going to do unsupported version first. Hands on your hips. Shift your weight towards your right. Tiptoes on the left side. Okay. Now I have a chair here with me because I like to have props prepared for me in case I need them. So friends who are struggling with balance, chances are you might want a chair beside you so you can actually gently rest your hand. It's a gentle rest. It's not a I'm leaning on it kind. Because if the chair slips away, there you go. You fall along with it. Okay, so support yourself with your own muscles, but just have slight support through something that's external. Now friends who are doing unsupported, both hands on the hips, if not one hand on the chair or maybe even the wall. Lift the knee up, semicircle towards the left side, then tap it in again. Okay, now this one is a pretty short one here. Now you notice the green things I have here, I always bring them along and we use them quite often. They are called blocks. Okay, so I'd like you to bring blocks along with you whenever you can. Now friends who do not have blocks today, it's okay, but quite likely in the next few segments, you might want to actually find yourself on something that's elevated, that's secure and firm. So it could be maybe a step in your house, or maybe if you have a very thick book, you can use that as a substitute. That's it. So what we're doing right here, this semicircle thing, or a rainbow movement, is to make sure we're trying to increase the mobility through the hip joint. That's it. So you might start to feel that, you know, that good movement, if I can actually describe it correctly. Just moving right through. That's it. Great. So you don't have to make it huge. You can always make it smaller, especially if you feel that you're feeling quite tight today. Okay, so this is a small rainbow. Then as you get warmer, then you just make it slightly bigger. Okay, just one more time here, towards the left. Come back in, then step down. Okay, change to the other side. You can either drag the chair onto this side if you're using chair, or just simply turn around. But I don't typically like to face my back to you, so I'm just going to do it unsupported, together with my friends who are having hands on the hips, alright? So starting to semicircle the leg to the side, come back in again. Just be mindful that your hips are not turning out towards the side, because if they are, I think you might not be able to feel the smoothness of the movement, and also it throws your balance off as well. So have your hands, either 1 or 2, on your hips so you can actually grab onto that hip, and then just make sure that your fingers are keeping it in place. So my 4 fingers in front, my thumb behind, so I'm applying pressure in front and back to keep the hip very, very still, so it doesn't turn out towards the side, not even by 1 degree. I'm serious, not even by 1 degree, okay? So imagine if you have headlights here and they are shining forward. If you move by 1 degree, you can actually see the lights moving to the side, and I don't want that to happen. Okay, just about 4 more here. If you can, bigger rainbows please. If not, stick to small little rainbows. That's completely fine. Nice. Last 2. Breathing well. Great. Last 1. Just tapping towards the side. Step at it. Okay, today we're using blocks, alright? So I'm taking 1 block. Now, this is a foam block. So if you have a foam block, it's going to be a little bit more unstable, but it's still possible. If you are worried about falling, please bring something that you can hold on to. So either a chair or go to a solid wall. Okay, I'm going to give you some time to set up. So I'm going to place the block underneath my left foot, which is your right foot, okay? Then my hand can actually be on the chair itself. Now notice you're floating the other foot off. So if you don't have a block, again, use a thick book, quite stable, firm foundation, preferably something that you can stand on without having to feel like you're going to fall off, okay? Or maybe if you have a step in your house, stairs in your house, you can actually use that as well, okay? Now level your hips. So if I draw a line from hip to hip, it's 1 straight line. Fingers onto the hip. Again, friends who are super stable, you can have both hands on the hips. Now this is unsupported. Make sure you have very, very good balance, alright? So here we go. We're going to take the leg forward, then swing it back slightly, point the toes. Bring it forward. Now notice that I'm not bending my knee even as I sweep my leg back, okay? So I'm going to show you from side profile, okay? So this is me. I take my leg forward. As I swing it back, I point my toes, but I'm not bending the knees. I keep it straight. So come forward, straight leg, then point the toes. As you come forward, if you can, flex the foot, point the toes up towards the ceiling. Now notice my body is super stable. It is not rocking forward and back, okay? Keep going. So if you need support, please go ahead. Find any external resources you can. Maybe even somebody at home to hold on to as you do this. Keep going. Breathe well. That's it. So friends who are doing unsupported, eye gaze on something that's not moving, please. Both hands on the hips. Then you might want to move very slowly so that you don't actually start to bring in momentum, because momentum can actually throw you off balance as well. So you're starting to rely on core muscles to keep you upright. That's it. You got 2 more times here. Nice. Last one. Flex the foot. Then point the toes as you sweep it back. Now, bring the leg forward, bend the knee in front of the hip. Again, unsupported or supported, I'm going to leave it up to you. Okay? Now, a very small one, you're going to take the knee out to the left, come back in again. That's it. Knee out to the left. So remember, I'm your mirror image, yeah? So don't lean back. If you don't want to stand on the block anymore, you can be on the ground, because this doesn't require you to be so elevated. That's it. 2 more here. Great work. Last one. Open the knee towards the side. Come back towards the middle. Hold it there. Now listen, if you're still on the step or the block, just straighten the leg. It should be hovering above the ground. Okay? Breathe well in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Listen. 2. This is my right hip. It is your left hip. You're going to pitch it up. Bring it down. Pitch it up, bring it down. So I'm floating that foot off the ground, a little higher off the ground, and coming down, hovering above the ground just slightly. You're going to feel the burn in the right leg, not the left, not the one that's moving, okay? The one that's supporting your whole entire body. That's the leg that's actually feeling the burn right now. You got 2 more here. I hope you're feeling it right now. Last one, lifting the hip up, bring it down, and step down. Oh boy, I don't know about you, but this leg that was on the block should have felt something. Okay, so we're going to change sides. I'm going to take the chair away, but if you can bring the chair all the way to this side. Then step onto the block. I'm coming to the middle to make it unsupported for myself, alright? So I'll be friends who are unsupported. So hand can be on the chair itself. Then stepping the left foot onto the block. Float the right foot off the mat itself. So your hips are level, okay? Get ready. Flex the foot, bring the leg forward, then sweep it back, point the toes. Squeeze bum. Come forward, flex the foot, you're working your quadriceps. Then as you move back, hamstrings and glutes working. That's it. So we don't want to use momentum here, okay? So if you're kind of swinging uncontrollably and you notice that your upper body is also moving forward and back, maybe slow down. That's it. If you're holding on to something for support, the only thing that you want to focus on is how much weight you are putting on that external resource. So if it's a wall, are you completely leaning against the wall, so much so that you're not using much of your core and that you're just swinging your legs uncontrollably? If your hand is on the chair, again, can you lighten the load on the chair? Can you perhaps float the fingertips off the chair itself? Then only when you need it, you bring it back down. Does that make sense? Keep going, okay? That's it, breathe. You got 4 more here. Flex the foot, lift the leg up as high as you wish. Bring the leg back, don't lean the body forward. That's it. Nice. Final 2. My thighs are burning, I tell you. Last one. Sweep the leg back, point the toes. Come forward, bend the knee in front of the hip. You ready? Open knee towards your right. Come back in. Same concept, fingers. If you're holding on to the chair, of course, your right hand is on your hip. You want to prevent that hip from moving backwards, especially when your knee moves towards the right, okay? So I'm always imagining, if my hands are here, that I have an imaginary chair. If not, both hands on your hips, unsupported, that's it. Great work. You got 4, nice. And 3, good. Last 2, breathe well. Ha. Last one, standing leg is still soft, it's not hyperextended. Come back in. Now straighten the leg down so it hovers just above the ground, okay? Now what I mean by don't hyperextend the leg, so side profile, okay? Don't push the kneecap all the way back until it pushes back like this, okay? Keep it slightly bent so that you take care of your knees as well, all right? Ready? You're gonna start to pitch the right hip up. Bring it down. So left leg is starting to feel the burn this time round. Okay, your left leg. I'm your mirror image, so it's my right leg, but your left. And that's it. Keep going. Hand can be on a chair or the wall. Or maybe nothing at all, unsupported like me. Alright? You got 3 more here. Oh boy. I'm trying not to grimace or to frown. Last one. That's it. Lift up. Gently step off. Goodness me, I don't know about you. That was quite intense, right? Okay, take the block away. We don't need it for now. Then slowly inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, release. One more breath in here. And exhale. Okay, I'm going to face towards the top of my mat, which is this direction. I'm going to bring the blocks along with me in case I need them, okay? So I'll be in the same direction as you. So coming down into tabletop position. All 10 fingers spread out wide, knees underneath the hips, heels of the palms underneath the shoulders. Hold it here first. Inhale to arc the spine. Exhale, scoop belly in. That's it, nice. Breathe. So I want you to think about lifting the chin only slightly. It's not about overlifting the chin, because I know it makes you feel as if you're coming to a bigger back bend, as if your movement is bigger, but it's not. Because if you overlift the chin, all you are doing is to overcompensate the back of the neck. Okay, so can you lead the movement through your heart? So heart comes forward, pull your arm back, then scoop your belly in. Eye gaze towards your belly button, puff the shoulders. That's it. So I like to always think of arcing the spine as something that I would do in order to pull my heart forward. And you want to think of sexy butt as well. Okay, so lifting the tailbone up. Then as I exhale, I want to push against the mat, lifting my heart away from the mat as much as possible. So a lot of the movement is through the center of your chest, instead of, I would say, the neck or too much into the lower back. Now the next time you exhale, come back into neutral spine. This time we're going to straighten the right leg, point the right toes. If you want to tuck the left toes under for a little bit more support, you can, okay? If you're fairly stable, left fingers reaches forward. Ready? Take an inhale, exhale, knee and elbow to touch. Only 5 times. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, knee and elbow to touch. Squeeze it in. Last 3. That's it. Knee and elbow to touch. Last 2. One more time here. Reaching. Squeezing. Back into extension first. Left palm down. Listen carefully. Your left palm comes down. Left toes, the one that's tucked under, the one that I'm tapping right now, comes on the outside, okay? Reach your right hand up towards the sky. If you need a little bit more support, right foot can come down, all right? If not, keep it floating off the ground. Now reach your right fingers to the top of the mat. Bicep is beside the ear, not in front of the face. Now find your foundation first, okay? Because if you're not focusing on foundation, you would start to wobble all over. Or if you're not concentrating, you're speaking to someone, you're laughing about it, then of course you can't find that focus and that balance. Can you start to reach the right fingers more towards the top of the mat and the right heel to the back of the mat? 5 times, knee and elbow to touch. Crunch it in. Extend. Great work. So I want you to feel an energetic lift in the left waistline, the bottom waistline. So you're not dumping the entire weight into your left wrist, alright? Now only 2 more. Please extend. So the extension is also important, not just the crunch. 1 more here. Come into extension. come into a crunch, come back into extension, stay here first, all right? Hold it there. Now, this time, right fingers on the right hip. Pull the right hip back, so right hip is above the left hip, okay? Point the right toes, small little circles. I know, this is where it starts to feel a bit challenging, I would say. Okay, change direction in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the toes pointed only 5 times. Thigh is not moving. Curl your right heel back to your bum, then straighten. 4 more here. Try to have the leg parallel to the ground instead of pointing down, okay? So as much as you can, parallel to the ground. But if you're really tired and the toes point down, it's perfectly fine, all right? I'm just going to encourage you to lift the leg away from the ground. 1 more. Come back into straight leg. This time, right palm down, knee down. Untuck the toes, child's pose. Oh boy. Breathe. So as we move along the weeks, we have been doing this for quite a couple of months already. If I'm not wrong, at least 3 to 4 months. So if you started with me from the beginning, you would notice it was really basic Pilates. And then we slowly increase intensity. So if you've been with me for quite a few months and you've been religiously doing this every week, I hope you have been feeling much stronger, okay? Now, come back up to a kneeling position. We're going to start to rotate this left wrist, okay? So fingers together, rotate inwards. That's it. Change direction. Nice. Okay, when you're ready, back into all fours position. Left leg extends, hold it there. Now hip squat instead of opening up towards the side. If you're fairly stable, you don't have to tuck the right toes, but if you want to, you can. So remember, if I'm not reaching right leg back, it's really hard to balance as well. So everything has to do with you using a little bit more energy to reach in opposite directions, okay? If you like to, right fingers forward. If not, right palm can still be down. Then you only move your left leg in, okay? Ready? Knee and elbow to touch, 5. So if you have your right palm down, it will look something like this. You're just crunching in. Is it okay to do this? Of course it's okay. There is no need to always do something that you feel that your body is not ready for. Last 2. Remember, the extension is super important. Yeah? Last 1. Come back into an extension first. Right palm down. Right toes, the one that's tucked under, comes behind. Then float the left hand up towards the sky. That's it. Now notice I'm stacking the left hip over my right, because if you're here like this, then you will fall. You won't feel that it's stable. And your wrist would really hurt. Okay? So I want you to feel that upward lift. Don't be afraid of this, alright? Hold it there. Maybe left fingers towards the top of the mat. Maybe lift the left foot away from you. Then knee and elbow, 5. Come into extension. That's it. Take your time. Last 4. Remember the extension, super important, alright? 3 more here. Nice. Last 2. Nice and strong. 1 more time. Hold it there. Now this time, left fingers on left hip. Point the left toes, small little circles, okay? Keep going. That's it. We're going to change direction. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the left leg extended. Remember, don't dump the weight into the right wrist. Have the right waistline lifted a little higher. Then curl your heel to your bum. Straighten again. 4 more here. That's it. 3 more. Last 2. 1 more. That's it. Hold it there. Left palm down. Left knee down. Take the right leg in. Just starting to knock out the ankles. Then push back, child's pose. Great work. Nice. Hands can come by the side of your hips if that's what you prefer. If not, hands can be outstretched forward. Okay? Then slowly rise up into a kneeling position. Just shake the wrist out. Great work. Nice and easy. Good work. Okay, this time, palms down. You're going to slowly come into a plank position first. Remember, planks can be knees down as well. This is a short one here, okay? Right knee towards your chest. If you can, step your foot in between the palms. Okay? Then from here, left knee down. Great work. So notice that my stance is quite wide. It is not this stance. Watch. So this is a very short stance where my hip is above the left knee. I want you to wiggle the right foot forward a little bit more. Then shift the weight forward. Your fingertips will come in line with your right foot. Okay? Then from here, you're going to feel a nice big stretch in the front of your thigh, your left thigh. Maybe walk your right foot, the one that I'm patting right now, one step towards the right, because the wider the base, the more stable you would be. Now friends, using blocks, take your blocks, frame your right foot. Just like this. Lift your chest up. If you don't have blocks, you can always substitute it for, don't know, some people tell me it's okay to substitute it for, you know, those disposable water bottle, but make sure you fill it up so there's a certain weight, so that when you have your hands on that bottle cap, you're kind of like this and you can actually lift your chest. See whatever works for you, okay? But I do recommend that if you can get blocks, they're really, really, really very affordable. Just hold it there, breathe, nice. Oh boy. One more breath in here. Now as you exhale, slowly straighten the right leg to any degree. Then rebend when you get to the maximum again. Okay, we're going to try that again. Straighten the right leg. Come back in again. That's it. Straighten the right leg. Come back in. So notice with blocks, you will find that this will be much easier. Because if your hands are on the ground, that is actually going to be a little bit more intense. So good thing to get blocks as well. Friends who have blocks, if you find that you're struggling with this, take the blocks to level 3, walk it back. Then it was going to make it slightly easier. Then maybe that's when you can actually start to straighten your right leg, flex the toes up towards the ceiling. Okay, one more here, straighten, hold. Breathe well. Nice. Now it's okay if your right leg is not completely straight, just keep it as much as you can. But if your bum is sitting on your left heel, please bring yourself back up. Then maybe wiggle the right foot 1-2 steps forward first, then pull it back. I want the left hip to be above the left knee. I don't want the left bum to be seated on your left heel. Okay, hold it there. So that is level 3, level 2. Friends who are on blocks, you can always play around. If you want to increase the intensity, you find that, hey, I'm getting a little bit more flexible. Maybe you can actually walk the blocks forward. Okay, just hold it there. That's it. Now walk it back in. This time, if you brought your right heel forward just then, drag it back first, then rebend into the right knee. Okay? Now step the block 1 step forward in front of the right foot. Tuck the left toes under, left knee off the ground itself. Now hold it here. Your right butt cheek is probably aching and burning by now. I want you to hang in there, okay? Now block can come to level 3 if you wish, just like this. This might actually make you feel a little bit better, okay? Now friends who are ready for something a little bit more intense, have your hands off the block, rise up into a high lunge position. That's it. Now from here, you're going to bring your hands down, then rise up again. Hips are slightly lower, okay? Then hands down again. Bring it up. One more time. Palms back down. Hold it there. That's it. Only 3 rounds only. Ready? Left knee taps onto the mat. In 3. Bring it up. Last 2. Bring it up. Last 1. Bring it up. Then slowly, if you're on level 3, come back to level 2 or even level 1, up to you, okay? Friends who don't have anything, hands can plant down, then knee back down. That's it. Slowly step the leg back into a supported knee plank position. Hands a little bit wider than your chest. Shift the weight forward first. Get ready. Only 3 push-ups on your knees. Very simple ones, alright? So chest coming down, elbows pulling back. 3. 2 more here. Last 1. And slowly, child's pose. Great work. So today's class is not exactly super hard, but there is a certain amount of intensity. So as you can imagine, it does get a little bit more and more intense, but very gradual. The kind that you may not notice if you have been consistent. But if you have not been consistent, then of course, this class might actually be quite tiring to some of you. And if it is, I ask that you actually look at the previous videos, alright? Come back to the front again. Step back into plank position once more, okay? Stay here, hold it there. Breathe well. So Jimmy, if you have a dislocated shoulder, can you do this? No, you can't. Not on your toes, always drop down to your knees, okay? So you want to feel into what actually makes sense to you. Obviously, if you have a dislocated shoulder, you're not going to do crazy things like that, yeah? Okay, so if I were you, I'll drop down to my knees, maybe have my hands walk back slightly, okay? And if I need to, I can always use a block, place it underneath my palms, maybe just come into an elevated one, okay? So friends who are on a plank position with your knees off the mat, take your left leg in between your hands. Yeah, so Jimmy, if you want to, you can always transit in a different manner. You can always come here, have something to support you first, then take the left leg forward. Does that make sense? So transitions are actually tiring as well, meaning you could get actually a lot of workout from the transitions. But if you find that transitions are not possible because of something in your body that doesn't allow you to, always move intuitively, because your best teacher is not me. I can only guide you. Your best teacher is actually yourself, okay? So if you need to transit in any other way into this posture, then go ahead. So Jamie noticed, right? Whether you have a dislocated shoulder before, or even if you find that you have a frozen shoulder, or maybe your arms are just not as strong, then have blocks with you, because when you're gradually more lifted, you're starting to use your lower body to lift up instead of dumping your weight here. So you notice as I move along, I keep saying this. Lift up, don't dump the weight in your wrist, because this can transfer to your elbow and to your shoulder as well, okay? So have it light on the block even if you need it. Get ready, you're going to straighten your left leg, come back forward. Keep going. And thank you for asking that question as well. In case you're wondering how I can actually see the comments, the production crew does it for me. So yeah, there are people here who work really hard to present all these free sessions for you. That's it. So straighten and release. So if you find that you're dumping too much weight in your hands, maybe a good option is to come up a little higher, walk back, because then you have the less of the tendency to dump your weight forward, okay? Be mindful. If you don't have the support of one part of your body that gives you that sense of, I would say, foundation, then focus on other parts of the body that actually helps to lift you up. So for this instance, I'm going to use my hips, my legs to integrate in towards the midline. Come back, hold it there, okay? So I might wiggle the left foot forward because this allows me to keep my right hip above the right kneecap. Notice I barely need the use of my hands on the blocks. Yeah. So this is what I mean by lifting up, instead of always relying on something and then dumping your weight down. So you don't want to work too much into joints. When it comes to dumping the weight, by the way, okay, not that you don't want to all the time. If your left leg is straight, only if it's straight, flex the toes towards the ceiling. If it's not straight, it's completely legit. Don't force yourself. Your body should never be forced. You can only coax your body to slowly give you a little bit more space. Now, slowly drag the left heel back, rebend the left knee, and then if you're using the blocks, you can take it away or flatten it so there's a firmer foundation. So unfortunately, with this transition, you need a little bit of arm, okay? So take it with ease if you need to. Just go back to your knee itself, okay? Then take the blocks away, palms down. Again, Jimmy, skip this portion because push-ups, not so good for shoulders that are dislocated, yeah? Get ready, elbows to bend, only 3, that's it. Last 2. One more time. Bring it up and sit all the way back. That's it. Great work. Now starting to roll the shoulders back, just breathe nice and easy. Then shoulder roll forward. Great work. Okay, I'm coming down to a seated position. We have only 2 minutes for crunches for your abs. So hands behind the head. So this is ab work. Hands are behind just to support the weight of your head. Option is to obviously just lay down and just give a very, very gentle lift of your head up and down. Okay, but friends who are feeling like this is a strong class that you want to move into, slowly lift the head, the neck, the upper spine, the shoulder blades, the pointy part of the shoulder blades. Keep going. So in Pilates, when it comes to what maybe people would know as crunches, this is called nose to chest. Direction of the nose coming to the chest, but don't think that it means you are tucking your chin in to touch your chest, because if that's the case, then maybe your arms are kind of putting in extra effort to yank your head forward, which is not so good. So you want to rely on your upper abdominals. So imagine your hands are not behind. Okay, how would you lift yourself up? Through the muscles here, your upper abs. But of course, I still want you to keep your hands behind your head instead of away, because your head can be quite heavy for your neck. So we don't want compression in the neck as well. So that's why we actually interlace our hands behind the head, just to support the weight of your skull, the weight of your whole head basically, not just the skull. You got 3 more here, just lifting up. Now up and hold, stay, hold it there, right leg up to tabletop, left leg up to tabletop. Breathe well. Now butterfly number 1, both knees open out to the side, then close it back in. Listen carefully. If you can, straighten 45 degrees, rebend. Let's go again, alright? Butterfly number 1, thighs together, knees above the hips, not too close to your chest, straighten the leg. Now listen up. I want you to just purposefully or consciously allow the belly button to draw a lot deeper in towards the spine. Okay? So that way you start to protect your lower back. You want to close up any gaps in between your lumbar spine and the mat, especially when you straighten the legs. So option, okay? Butterfly number 1. If you find straightening the legs makes you feel that your lower back is compromised, just go slightly, knees are still bent, then bring it back in again. Alright? That's it. Keep going at your own pace. Again, if you're super tired, here is another option, okay? Head can come down, but be mindful, once your head comes down, right, there is a tendency for the lumbar spine to really arc. So you need to put in extra effort to make sure that you're pressing your belly in towards your spine. So you're trying to close up the gap between your lower spine and the mat. A small hole or a small tunnel is fine, but not a huge one, to a point that when you straighten the leg, the pressure goes into the lower spine. Keep moving, keep moving. That's it. Now, if you have been doing this without resting, you should be feeling the burn. We'll be ending soon in 2 more repetitions, then we stretch it out. Okay? Rebend the knees, step the right foot down, step the left foot down, rest the shoulders down, hands by the side. Well done, guys. Step your feet mat width apart, hands a little wider, windshield wiper your knees right and left. That's it. So I was having a conversation with a friend just the other day. And sometimes when I actually teach in a virtual class, especially when I can't see my students, I always have a lot of images in my mind as to what people are doing at home. And I start to get really worried, like, oh, will this person injure himself, herself? You'd be surprised the kind of things that we think about, especially when we don't have a visual cue of what our students are doing. Worse still, if someone is actually sitting on a couch just watching. I hope you're not, alright? I hope that at least you find some time to just move your body, because it's important for the body to consistently move, not just be static in front of the computer or not doing anything at all. Okay, come back towards the middle. Now this time round, we're going to straighten the left leg but hug the right knee in. We'll come to a supine twist. Left hand to lead the right knee across the body. I'm just going to take my mic out of the pocket because I don't want to lie on it. So I'm coming to a supine twist. Now the knee doesn't have to touch the ground, but I'd like you to ground the right shoulder blade in towards the mat. It's a short one here, okay? So if you want to, you can pull the right knee towards your left armpit in the last few seconds to increase the intensity of this supine twist. Come back towards the middle. Step it down. We're going to change sides. Straighten right leg, left knee into the chest first. Right hand to lead the left knee across the body. That's it. Left shoulder is grounded. I love twists. Twist actually creates a little bit more space in your lower back. And also, twists on a daily basis help you to maintain that normal rotation ability of your spine. It's a good thing to do it on a daily basis. Pull the knee closer towards your right armpit. Come back towards the middle. Hug both knees in. Lift the head off the mat. Rock forward and back. Take yourself up. Great work, guys. So 45 minutes, it kind of passes so quickly, right? So sitting up nice and tall, whether you're using a block. Oh, by the way, if you want to sit up taller, a block underneath your bum always helps. Always helps. If you haven't tried it before, try it. You'll be surprised that you might actually love this posture of sitting on the block. So there's not too much pressure on the knees as well, especially for those with a lot of knee issues. It's good to sit on the block so that you're kind of elevated. All right, 3 breaths, we're done. Take an inhale, exhale, release. Last 2, big belly breath in here. Exhale, release. Final 1, inhale, arms up. And exhale. Well done, guys. Thank you so much for joining me every single week. If you have been consistent, thank you. Really, thank you for joining me, because I don't know whether people are around sometimes. Yeah. And a big thank you to the production crew who sits kind of this direction to me. They help to control the sound. They help to control the visual images, the exposure. So you have to thank them as well. So thank you for joining me. And I'll see you guys again, same time at 11 a.m. on Sunday next week. Bye then.